Welcome back. One of our favorite segments around here called What's Going Around. And each week we bring in local medical providers to find out what kind of issues they're seeing in patients lately. And joining us today is Carrie Hair, who is a nurse practitioner at CVS Minute Clinic. And Carrie, thank you so much for being with us here.
Yeah, always glad to join.
Something that I know is impacting a lot of people, because here at the station there's a lot of coughing, a lot of sneezing. We're talking about allergies. Are you seeing a lot of that right now?
Absolutely. So we've seen the first kind of hit of it, and then we had all of that rainy weather, which is nice because it tends to wash a lot of it away. But then as the weather becomes beautiful again, it gets hot and dry outside, and you see that nice yellow dusting on your car or on your house. It's back, and it definitely, a lot of people have been coming around saying that they're having symptoms.
Yeah, really something to think about. So do you recommend people go ahead, even if they're not feeling allergies, or if they've had them and they've gone away a little bit, maybe to kind of continue their medication to make sure if it does come back?
Absolutely. Consistency is the big key. You want to start 2 weeks before you have symptoms, which is hard to gauge if it comes and goes a little bit at the beginning. You kind of think you may be resolving, but really stay consistent with that medication, and that way you'll be carried through the season.
Yeah, which is really good. And I know off camera, just before the segment, we were talking about some other things that you've been seeing. You've seen some poison ivy cases coming through.
Absolutely. So with that warm weather, everybody likes to get outside, go ahead and start early on that yard work, and they get brushed against it or get exposed to it at some point in time, and then have those flare-ups. And so you can try over-the-counter remedies. A lot of hydrocortisone options will work, or antihistamines, which the great thing about antihistamines is they double for those allergies. But in the end, coming to the Minute Clinic and kind of getting evaluated if it's not resolving is a great option, because then we can try a prescription and some other options for you to go from there.
Which is really good. And this time of year, I mean, now the flu is basically phasing out at this point. I know it was an extra long flu season this year, but finally starting to go away, right?
Yes, we are not seeing anywhere near as much flu. So we have actually, I think this week or next week, we'll be sending all of the flu vaccine back in, which is, you know, it's time for them to start developing the next one for next year. And so again, we don't see as much flu, and have phased out of that and into those spring allergies, and then poison ivy and other things like strep throat.
Yeah, important to start thinking about those things as the seasons change, making sure that that we're staying on top of it. And I guess just to make sure in terms of allergies, and things that people can do at home to make sure they're not carrying the allergens into their house. And I mean, some of that is preventative, right? In addition to taking the medicine, there's some things to do for yourself, even for your pets, to make sure you're not bringing it inside.
Absolutely. So really, that whole idea is, if you think of the pollen, you want it to stay outside, so don't bring it in. So making sure you take any clothes off before you get into your bedroom or where you sleep. Shoes also stay at the door, so you're keeping that transfer of pollen outside from coming inside. And then showering at night, that's one of those funny things that people don't really think about. So you're washing the allergens off of you before you get into your bed. So if you go throughout your day, cover yourself in pollen because you're in and out of the house or in and out of work. You want to make sure to rinse all of those off before you go to bed, because you don't want to sleep in it.
That's really smart. You know, you think about if your car's covered, chances are we're covered too, and we might not even realize it. Well, Carrie, thank you so much for all of your advice today. I know a lot of things that folks at home can use, and definitely can come into CVS Minute Clinic as well to get checked out if they have any issues. Thank you so much.